Blitz by Sorensen. Pass is intercepted. Eric Berry at the 40-35. Sorensen's blitz set it up. Berry inside the 20. Stays on his feet, dancing. Still going left. He's got a chance. He's at the 15, angling left. 10 to the 5. A block. And Berry to the left. Front pylon. Touchdown, Kansas City.
That was an awesome moment the last time these two teams faced off back in 2016. Would love to see a similar moment on Sunday. Hey everybody, and welcome into our game preview this week, presented by Crown Royal. My name is Matt McMullen, and this week we're joined by Marcus Spears of ESPN. He's going to help us break down Chiefs and Panthers. Marcus, how's it going?
Going great, man. Going great. Just finished the NFL Live, and now I'm on with you guys. So football. With everything that's going on, we still get to talk football.
There's never enough football. So glad to have you here to talk a little Chiefs and Panthers here. And you know a thing or two about good defensive football, and there's been a lot of that in Kansas City this season. Chiefs have allowed 21 or more points just one time this season. 7 times they've gone out there, held the opposition under 21 points. Only team in the NFL to do that. And they're facing a Panthers offense here that has some weapons. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, he's completing his passes at the second highest rate in the NFL. Has some weapons in the receiver core. Guys like DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, and Robbie Anderson having a great season. And also Christian McCaffrey could be back this week. So a lot of weapons for this Panthers offense. What do you make of the matchup between this Chiefs defense and the Panthers offense? And what do the Chiefs need to do to keep their momentum rolling on defense?
Well, it's interesting, man, because you look at the Panthers, and Joe Brady, the new offensive coordinator, does a tremendous job with keeping them within their wheelhouse. They very rarely get uncomfortable offensively. So you want to force them into third and longs per se. You want to have a good first down snap against them, because if they stay on schedule, they will methodically milk the clock, methodically move the ball down the field, and then you look up and they've hit a big play to Robbie Anderson. He's been their guy this year as far as going down the field. DJ Moore had a great, had some really good plays against the Falcons. But when you think about what Kansas City has done a tremendous job of, number one, Spags has now kind of leveled things out and simplified a lot of what they're doing defensively. And they rely now on their stars on defense to make plays and put defenses in a bad way, which sounds like, Marcus, shouldn't everybody do that? Well, you got some coaches in the NFL that only want to stick to their particular scheme, and they want to do things the way they want to do them. He's starting to highlight, and started actually a while back. He actually started it in the second half of the Super Bowl last year. Now, the Raiders were an anomaly. The Raiders was on fire that day, and they put up that amount of points. But it seems like they kind of pulled everything back. This Carolina Panthers offense, I don't know if I would call it explosive. What I would call it is opportunistic. They want to stay in their wheelhouse, and when they see an opening, they want to exploit it.
This Chiefs defense played so well. I mean, look at the second half last week against the New York Jets. Allowed just 2 first downs, perhaps their best defensive performance of the year. Would love to see that again here on Sunday against the Panthers. Now, speaking of defense, Carolina's been pretty good defensively this year, 13th in the NFL in terms of scoring defense. Last 2 matchups, though, they have not been very good. Allowed over 800 yards from scrimmage in their last 2 games. Forced just 1 punt in that span. What are you expecting from Patrick Mahomes and company against this Carolina defense on Sunday?
To do what Patrick Mahomes and company does. The bottom line is if they take care of the ball, no one's going to stop them in this league. And listen, I know you guys, I hope that you all have watched me before. You all know me. It's a very simple plan. Get a ball to 15 and get the hell out of the way. All right, and let's just call plays. Let's create mismatches. Let's create, if we need to run it this week, we're going to run it. If we need to throw it in chunks, we're going to throw it in chunks. If teams are trying to keep their eyes downfield and everybody in front of us, we're going to take what they give us and let our playmakers make plays after they catch the ball. Here's the bottom line, though, when you're trying to defend what Mahomes does. He can play every type of game. He invites pressure because that's when he's at his best. And then you got to decide, okay, am I going to sit back and allow maybe, 7, 8 plays where they gain yards and then try to get in the red zone and condense it and make them kick field goals? Don't know, right? Like that's the plan. You picking your poison between Bieniemy and Patrick. But the one thing about Carolina and Matt Rule, this group will play until the whistle is blown, and they are going to try to create a lot of scenarios defensively where they try to get your eyes and confuse you at the quarterback spot, dropping out defensive linemen, trying to rush with 4 to keep 7 in coverage. And look, it didn't work against Atlanta. Matt Ryan made a couple plays where he extended plays, and Julio had a big night that night. Calvin really went down in that game, but he was having a real effective night. So it's not like this Carolina defense is world beaters, all right, especially when it comes to the Chiefs. But what they will do is they try to make you earn every yard. And usually good defenses, it's 2 things good defenses do. One is they are able to get pressure on the quarterback with just 4-man rush. And they've started to kind of create a little rush off the edge. And then the second thing is very rarely do they make mental mistakes. And that's what Matt Rule is prided on, his guys being in the right situation. Now, can they make the plays? To be determined. But you won't catch Carolina in busted coverages, guys not being where they're supposed to be. But Kansas City has seen that before, too.
You mentioned the different ways that Patrick Mahomes can win a football game. I'm curious to see how the Panthers attack the Chiefs defensively, because last week I saw the Jets go after the running game and allowed some passing opportunities for Patrick Mahomes, and all he did was become the 13th player in NFL history to throw for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions in a single game. Just another day at the office for Patrick Mahomes. All right, Marcus, prediction time. Who wins the game on Sunday? What's the final score?
It'll be the Kansas City Chiefs winning the game. I think it'll be somewhere between probably 34-17, 34-20 possibly. I'm going to give Teddy B and that offense and Joe Brady a little bit of credit. Guys are very enthused to play against Kansas City, as we know. But I think they keep them under that 21 you mentioned earlier. And then Mahomes puts pressure on the offense as well to try to score points in chunks. And so you can't line up and just methodically, if you get behind, it's almost as hard as I remember trying to come back in a football game. But also you have to make sure that at times you can be explosive. Look, the bottom line is this. The one time we saw Kansas City lose, the offense on the opposing team was more explosive than they were. And I just don't think Carolina has that in their tool bag. So 34-17 Kansas City.
Love the sound of that. He is Marcus Spears. Catch him on NFL Live on ESPN, 3 o'clock Central on weekdays. Also follow him on Twitter at mspears96. Marcus, awesome stuff, man. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, appreciate it, my brother. Thanks for having me.